Hi guys, this is my first video log and I'm going to talk about texting. Everyone texts. Like, everyone I know texts. My mom texts, my brother texts, my friends text. It's just a really convenient way to, communicate with someone. It's direct and, you can get to the point, and it's faster than, making a phone call. Like, a lot of the people I know, like, a lot of my friends don't call me, they text me instead because it's just faster and it's more convenient for them. It's convenient, like, texting is convenient and a lot of people use it, but then, like, it cuts down on the face-to-face communication between two people, and, like, it also causes misunderstandings between people because, all you have are words on a screen. Like, there's no voice to it. With a phone call, at least the person could tell your tone of voice. Like, if you're mad, or if you're sad, or if you're just, like, annoyed, then, a person could catch on to that. But with text, it's harder because it's just words. And sometimes, like, a person could read a text wrong. Like, I texted my cousin one time and it was like, oh, okay, oh, okay, because he was asking me a question, but then he read it the wrong way and I was like, oh, okay. So, like, people put their own interpretation into your words when you text it. Like, you may mean one thing, but then the person can get mad at you because they think you mean another thing, like something negative. And then that is one of the downsides to texting. But then, like, texting has, made it easier for people to communicate also. Like, you don't have to pick up a phone and, well, you could be like, hey, where are you? But then that's kind of rude. You have to go, like, hey, how are you, da-da-da, and then you could ask your question, So, like, you can't really get straight to the point through a phone call, and with an email, you have to wait longer for a reply. And sometimes if you're on AIM and you're messaging people, like, it could take forever to respond. And you're not at your computer all the time. With your phone, you could at least have it. And, it could take a while for someone to text you back, but at least you have your phone wherever you are, unless you forgot it at home, or something. But yeah, with texting, like, my experience with texting, I've gotten into some misunderstandings with texting. Like, I misunderstood some texts my friends sent me because I either read it the wrong way or, I misread it completely. Like, it said, oh, are you hungry? And I thought it said, oh, where are you? I know, two different things, but sometimes I just read stuff wrong. And then, like, and it's sad because with texting, it really cuts down to the face-to-face communication, Even if you're in front of someone, like, they could be texting someone else while you're talking to them. Like, I've done it before. Like, I admit I've done it before. And it's just, like, because texting is so popular, like, everyone's doing it. And even if you're sitting down and having a conversation with a friend, like, a person can still be texting. And then, like, there are times when you should text and when you shouldn't. Like, if you're in a meeting or if you're in class, you shouldn't really text, but some people can't help it. Like, but then if you're really, like, if you decide to hang out with a friend and you call that friend up, but then during a conversation with that friend you're texting, that's pretty bad. Like, if you're with a friend and you're just hanging out and there's nothing to do, that's okay, respond to a text, but, it's kind of rude to do that, so, yeah. And then, like, with, misunderstandings, you should be more clear when you text, not too vague. Like, people could misread, like, oh, okay, so then, you know, or, like, yeah. Like, you could even misread a simple word like, yeah. So then, you know, like, the little emotional faces, like, you know, the happy face or the mad face, or, you know, those help tell how you're feeling, you know. They help add feeling to the words so people could understand more, like, what you mean. And, if anything, you could just call them up and explain if a text is too long, you know. Like, if you're too vague in a text, then people will be like, what? So, like, you know, to avoid misunderstandings, you should be more clear, like, use emotional faces or whatnot, or just explain yourself in your text, or even just call someone up if it's too complicated. And that way you avoid, you know, misunderstandings. Yeah, so texting is a good way to keep in contact with other people, but then you have to really be careful about when you text. Like, you can't be texting, like, during a really important meeting, or even at, like, a wedding. Or in church. I know people who text in church. Bad. But, you know, you have to know when you should text, and then, like, you shouldn't text too often, because, you know, like, you should call someone up. Like, you can text people, but, like, text them to hang out. Like, don't text them, oh, how was your day? You should, like, oh, are you busy? And then if you hit hang out, then, you know, hang out with the person. That way it doesn't cut off too much face-to-face time between, you know, your friends or your family. And then be clear with your text. Like, don't be so vague. And if it's too complicated, I personally would rather call the person up than, you know, text them, you know, the whole conversation. But yeah, just be really clear, and not too vague, and just know when to text, and yeah, then you should be good. So yeah, this is my vlog on texting. Thanks, guys.